The night was utterly calm. A full, bright moon hung in the sky, and the stars shone quietly above the small, sleeping village. The only sounds were the soft song of crickets and the gentle wind rustling through the trees. But one girl was still awake. Her name was Maryam. Maryam often slipped out of her small house while everyone slept. She'd walk quietly through the empty streets, past the old wooden houses, and out to the edge of the village. Her footsteps were as soft as a cat's paws, careful not to wake a soul. Her destination was always the river. It was just a short walk, but at night, it transformed. The water reflected the moonlight, shining like a ribbon of liquid silver. The forest encircling it was dark and deeply silent. For most villagers, the forest at night was a place of fear. But for Maryam, it was a place of peace. She loved the sound of the water, its steady, unending flow, like the very heartbeat of the world. Whenever she felt lonely or sad, she came here to sit and listen. But this night was different. Maryam settled onto a smooth stone near the water's edge, wrapping her arms around her knees and staring at the moon's reflection. She thought about her life, her village, her future. Everything seemed normal, until she noticed a movement in the water. At first, she thought it was just a fish jumping, creating a small ripple. She smiled. She'd seen it many times before. But then the water rippled again, much stronger this time. Her smile vanished. The water in front of her began to stir, as if something massive was rising from the depths. Maryam leaned forward, her heart thumping against her ribs. "It's only a fish, she whispered, but she knew it wasn't true. The ripples grew wider, shattering the moon's reflection into 1,000 pieces. The surface of the water began to glow faintly, as if light were trapped just beneath it. Maryam's eyes grew wide. She wanted to back away, but her body felt frozen to the spot. She could only watch as something dark and tall pushed up through the water. It wasn't human, and it wasn't any animal she had ever seen. It was a shadow, but it was alive. It had a shape, but the shape was indistinct, its edges moving like smoke in the air or waves in the ocean. Her mouth went dry. She tried to breathe quietly, terrified the creature would hear her. The shadow now stood above the water, half hidden in mist. It didn't attack. It just waited. Maryam wanted to run back to the village, but an instinct deep inside her told her to stay. Then, the shadow began to glow. Softly at first, like a distant candle, but it grew brighter, shining in colors she had never seen before. The water around it shimmered like glass. Her fear intensified, but so did her curiosity. What are you?" she whispered into the night. The glowing figure didn't move, but the air changed. It grew heavy, as if the entire forest was holding its breath. And then, Maryam heard it. A voice. It wasn't a human voice. It was deep, and it seemed to echo inside her head, as if the words were not spoken with sound but with thought. "Do not be afraid," it said. "Ooh." Maryam gasped, scrambling to her feet, her legs trembling. Her eyes were locked on the glowing figure. The voice spoke again, calm and slow. "You are not alone. You were never alone." The forest was silent. The river was silent. Everything seemed to listen. Maryam's heart was beating so loudly she thought the figure must hear it. She had so many questions, but the words wouldn't leave her mouth. The figure leaned closer, its glow reflecting in her wide eyes. And then the voice whispered again, so soft, yet so clear. "I am the guardian of the forest." A chill ran down Maryam's spine. A guardian? Her grandmother told her stories about spirits and protectors, but those were just fairy tales, why weren't they? Her lips finally moved, trembling. "Guardian? Of what?" she asked. The figure didn't answer. Instead, its glow exploded in brightness. For a moment, it looked like the whole river was burning with light. Maryam threw a hand up to shield her eyes, her heart screaming inside her chest. And then, the light faded. The figure sank slowly back into the water, disappearing under the dark surface. The river became calm again, as if nothing had ever happened. The moon's reflection returned, soft and unbroken. Maryam stood alone, her legs weak, her breath shaking. She looked around. The forest was the same. The river was the same. But she knew, with absolute certainty, that everything had changed. She whispered to herself in the profound silence, "What did I just see?" But there was no answer. Only the quiet river and the memory of a voice that said, "Do not be afraid."